I'm just trying to locate the church in Rendcomb, Gloucestershire. I can't seem to find it without going down a private track. I thought I'd film a bit of the beautiful countryside on our way towards it. Well, it's definitely not down here. Greetings and welcome to the channel. Today I'm at a church in Rendcomb, which is in Gloucestershire. I'm actually parked in Rendcomb College grounds. You can't usually do that. I had some difficulty finding the church. These are quite narrow lanes along here, and I haven't seen any particular signs for the church. Just no public access road. The car wanted to take me down, or the SATNAV wanted to take me down. It's got to be here somewhere. People have visited it in the past, probably over hundreds of years. But perhaps they walked across the fields then. We shall see. The SATNAV was taking me down a lot of private roads that didn't have tarmac on them. I have to see if I can find someone and ask them how to get there. But the only person I've seen so far was a runner, and both times I was in his way because it was a narrow path and he was timed himself, so he hurried me past, and then when I realised I was going the wrong way and turned around, I had to pass him again. So it's just unfortunate. The turning's on the left here, just under this bridge, I thought. It's a bit bumpy. It's the wrong track. I hope I can turn around. And being I've just had my car fixed, I don't want to damage it any further. So I've eventually found the church, which is in the college grounds, just inside them. So the college have kindly allowed me to stay parked there because it's term time. Ordinarily, I don't think you can. There it is. A bit in silhouette at the moment. The light's not great. Right, so I've managed to find a bit better vantage point to take the church from. Beautiful day here. I'll head straight inside the church. It should be open apparently. And look at the exterior afterwards. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. It's a short but wide porch. I imagine because the college kids, college adults, and they need more room for them to get in a hurry, I should think. I notice here there's some graffiti in the porch. This one to 1627. And over the other side, someone who's given away his name, a William Cleverley, 1707. I imagine he was wealthy enough not to mind signing his name to it, or stupid enough to leave it. Whether he would have got the cane then, don't know whether he's an adult, might have even been the master, who knows. Right, let us enter. That opens easy enough, such a big door. Got a thick piece of wood there. Oh, it's nice and quiet in here. Look at that lovely font. That's amazing. That looks really old. 12th century. Well, I think that's pretty old. The 12th century font was at one time in the old chapel at Elmore Court. When the chapel was pulled down in 1818, the font was used here as a water trough and later brought to Rendcomb and used as a garden ornament. It is now believed that this font is part of a group of 4 fonts carved by the same sculptor or workshop circa 1140 to 1145. The fonts were all commissioned by the Earl of Hereford, Miles, or his son Roger, who gifted some land to Llantony Priory. When the Reverend Joseph Pitt of St. Peter's Church had the font restored, the top frieze was levelled off, cutting in half the Greek key pattern. The carvings represent the 12 apostles, but Judas Iscariot is left featureless with only his feet carved. It is interesting to note that this medieval font is still used for baptisms. There is another smaller font in the south aisle near the screen which dates from the 18th century. So climbing from the entrance to the window. With 2 corbels above. It says here, the north wall has traces of an older church which predated the current building. 3 pillars dating from the 13th century. From the outside, it is possible to see how these pillars were part of the arcade leading to the north aisle. Also visible are the remnants of a later door that was also filled in with ashlar. The stained glass windows on the north side of the church are interesting. Much of the glass is from the time when the church was rebuilt, circa 1517. And indeed, the initials of Edmund Tame, the benefactor, can be seen in the central window. In the cusped window heads are the figures of various saints, including Saint Apollonia, the patron saint of toothache sufferers. The rood screen between the chancel and the nave would originally have supported a rood loft, where there would have been a cross. Rood is another name for a cross, and statues of Mary, the mother of Jesus, and the Apostle John. During the Reformation, these were removed from many churches. In the north wall near the pulpit can be seen the remains of the stairway, and higher up the doorway which would have given access to the rood loft. The screen here at St. Peter's is made from oak, but was repaired probably in Victorian times with metal work, and the whole painted dark brown, making the repairs difficult to distinguish. An intact rood loft can be seen in North Cerney Church, where I went yesterday, with steps still there, making it possible to ascend to the loft, which I did. As soon as I pressed record on the camera, the fly came near me and started buzzing around. If it's not lawn mowers, helicopters, outside traffic, bumblebees, wasps, it's flies. Still, this one's pretty quiet compared to some of them. The fly's come back. Perhaps he wants to be an influencer. Who knows? I think the fly just said, please like and subscribe on the fly's behalf. Thank you. To the chancel with haste. Looks Georgian to me, or thereabouts. I don't know if there's the absence of a reredo, just a curtain it seems. Bosses on the ceiling. The reredos in the south chapel was painted in the late 1920s by Maud Bennett, daughter of the Reverend Edward Bennett, who was a rector at Rendcomb in memory of her father. Originally, it was placed behind the altar in the chancel. Then in 1958, following the replacement 3 years previously of the organ and pipes in the south chapel, sometimes called the Lady Chapel, the reredos and the altar table were moved to their present position. The larger altar table for the chancel was built by the boys at Rendcomb College. Also visible in the Lady Chapel, dividing the chapel from the chancel, is a screen from Catherine of Aragon's symbol of the pomegranate. Catherine was Henry VIII's queen from 1510 to 1530. And here I've just noticed is the smaller font. It's lovely and quiet in here, but I think it's about time I went outside and had a look at the exterior. The door's a bit heavier, opening it from the inside. This is the way I was meant to come in, I think. I think it's open most of the time. The exterior seems fairly standard fare, adequate. Interior is the thing to see, I think. Oh, he says hitting his head on a tree. Beautiful flowers out. And here is the door that it said was filled in, near the pillars the other side. I'm going to see bits of former arches here, I think. You see the college in the distance there. Well, as always, thank you for joining me on this journey, and I'll see you in the next one. Interesting addition to that gravestone there, quite like that. Bye for now.